Recording has started. Guillaume, feel free to take it away. I'm gonna make you a co-chair now. A co-host, I mean.
Okay. So we have 8 participants. Am I missing something where it's on air? Okay. So that means this board meeting is also broadcasted in the stream, if I understand well.
It is.
Okay. It is now 15:01. We are October 11th, 12th. And we are recording and broadcasting this board meeting live. Are present from the board, Clement, Bailey, Clemens, Kuhn, and myself, Guillaume. Is missing Nikolai. Guests, we have only the Parrots on Air, which is the streaming service. Now, shall I remind you that rules of procedure can be found on our wiki under the PPI board rules of procedure. And we will start by the first item on the menu, which is the housekeeping and the approval of the minutes of last time. And please fill in your names on line 45 and below if you agree with the minutes or if you are abstaining or if you have any issues with that. It appears that only Kuhn is missing. We have that everyone that casted its vote. Kuhn, are you accepting the minutes?
Yes, I'm just fighting the interface of Zoom.
Aha. Okay.
How do you get this out of full screen?
Simply by going on the small side.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Okay. Reports. I'll make it sweet and short. You have all been part of the action that we have led in support of the Catalonian Parrot Party over the past 48 hours, and we have had a tremendous response. We have been able to mobilize. We have found even unforeseen parties that have reacted to it. For instance, Parrot Parties of Tunisia has shared on social media the publication that we did in the Swiss Parrot Party Facebook page.
Point of order. Guillaume, because of the keyboard of Keith Goldstein, we can hear you speaking. So if you could mute yourself, Keith, and afterwards, if you need to unmute and write, you put a newspaper folded once under your keyboard, and the clicking sound will be muted a little bit. Thank you.
Okay, so that was one of the actions that Stefan and I launched early Wednesday morning, and we passed the ball along to maximize the visibility. Over the past 14 days, quite a few things happened here in Switzerland, mostly regarding elections and initiatives. We have deposited the Transparency Initiative on Tuesday. We have also launched the referendum against the gambling law which is now starting to unfold, and we're gathering signatures for that. In the meantime, we have had to deal with personal issues in Switzerland, having to take care of a vice president that got out of bounds, and make quite a few activities. I've tried to reach the Geneva State. I will be meeting on the 18th with the Conseiller d'État, Luc Bartassa, and I'll have a private discussion with him. And also, and I will again ping the person that takes care of NGOs within the state of Geneva, which is Director of Interior Michael Flax. And that's about it for me in that regard. We have one new Vice President-elect that is interested in supporting us, which is Carlos Polo, and I will be briefing him on the activities of PPI and other elements. He's the Vice President for Swiss Pirate Party, and he will be taking care of international things. He will probably second and support Killian in his efforts. But he's also, as he's working in Geneva and very well connected in the international community, he's while working at the World Trade Organization, who will be able also to build a proper network there. That said, nothing much more. The facilities in Geneva are now confirmed. There's no problem with that.
Okay, is it?
Bailey, your turn.
Yeah, okay. So good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, good evening, whatever. Yeah, so as you guys have already seen, there was a poll put out for the next membership meeting, and that's going to take place on October 21st at 3 p.m. European time. That's when the most people seem to want to do it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay.
Can I just clarify? That's October 31st at 3 o'clock CEST?
The 21st.
21st.
Yeah. So not this weekend, but next weekend.
Okay.
Keith, your turn.
So yeah, I've did some, I guess, some basic prep work on the video project we've talked about. I'll discuss that later, but I want to make a small budget for that. I've been tempted to write a grant, but I've had little success at collaboration. I don't know if we're going to make that 15th deadline for the Democracy and Media Institute. Coordinating TT3 as usual. I spoke with Arif from Turkey, who helped set up TT2. He's actually really nice and really helpful, but he's not too interested in collaborating on the future conference. He was interested in collaborating as an external organization. Is if I did it through my university, he did it through his university to do research. That's something we can look into the future, but I can't pull that together in 3 days. That's it for me for now.
Koen?
Hello, good morning, afternoon, or whatever. I worked mostly on the thinktwice.co website, which is back up and running. The entire WordPress part is running properly, I think. Still need to check the submit form, the contact form. I was also trying the open conference system, which we used for ThinkTwice too. But I suggest we skip it and try to use simple forms or something. I also closed a Skrill.com account PPI had and transferred €12.50 to our bank account.
Okay. One question regarding the TT WordPress platform. Can Keith have full edition or admin rights on it to publish things?
I already do.
Okay.
As of a couple days ago, and I also added Thomas on there as well. And I wanted to add one of my own PP Israel members who's more programming savvy than I am.
Okay. Kuhn, is that okay with you to have more people working on a platform?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
The only other person who still has access is Anders, but I don't think he's going to help anymore. So.
Okay, no problem. Can we just add those 2-3 little points that were mentioned now on the minutes?
Yeah, I've got them down below, so
okay.
We'll review it again.
Okay, Nikolai not being present, there's no report from him. Ray, do you want to say a word, or it's just business as usual?
Yeah, it's business as usual.
Okay. Thomas?
About the same, business as usual, so nothing of importance.
Okay. No alternates, so we'll directly skip to the next topic, which is the General Assembly of November 25th, 26th in Geneva. In preparation of our meeting, there are a few documents that have been put online for the sake of our discussion. You can directly go on the path that is referenced there. Can you please share it in the chat, Ray, please?
Yes.
The one that is in line 81 of the minutes. Thank you.
Yeah, share it in the Zoom group chat, which will be saved automatically, by the way.
Okay.
Yes. Do you want me to try to go through the document that I prepared?
Yes, please.
Okay. I've tried to start a document listing the tasks that we have in front of us, so that we at one point, when it's finished and curated, can add who's responsible and put it in a timeline. We have a lot of things to do, and not one single person can do it. We must all contribute where we know best. The first part of the document that says technical is me trying to, for the least amount of money and the least amount of fuss, and for the chance of least amount of trouble on the day of our General Assembly, I've chosen to propose a few solutions that will work in combination with each other, based on testing and trying for over a year to find something that works. Parts of this solution has been tested during the online GA of the Norwegian Pirate Party. I've seen it in action with complete success, and part of it is the solution that we are looking at now, Zoom. Zoom is a good way to get closer to each other and see each other while we work. And it will cost us $0. The solution is something that I paid for. It doesn't cost more than €15 a month, or $15 a month for me. I use it maybe 10 times per day. So I know that it works, and I know it doesn't take much bandwidth. You can use it on your phone and or any other type of device. The other two parts of it is, number one, voting. I have seen poll everywhere used. What is it, 5 times now? I've sat beside the man that administered was the admin of the solution while it was happening. It works. Tens of thousands of people use it. And the cost of it is, it's a proprietary solution. I haven't been able to find anything else that can satisfy our needs on short notice. It's a one-time payment. It's actually a monthly payment of 79 US dollars, which I may get in half if I can make Poll Anywhere classify us as a proper NGO because of our NGO relationship to ECOSOC in the United Nations. The second the meeting is over, we just end the subscription, so the total cost will be 79 US dollars, and we won't have to install anything on our servers or worry about the technology. So it's basically renting a solution, a voting solution for our needs for 1 month, 79 US dollars. It gets us there. We can have it up and running tomorrow. So it satisfies the criteria that we have little time, little people, and we need to know that things work beforehand. Poll Everywhere works the way whereby you can participate via web. Of course, you get registered via an email. You get sent an email, then you're registered on Poll Everywhere's website. Then you're asked to put in your phone number and then ratify your phone number, whatever the English word for that is. So you send an SMS to Poll Everywhere, and they have local numbers, so the cost is of one SMS for users to send to their local country. I think the list was at 120 countries the last time I looked. So, and when you do that, every time we start a voting a poll, ask a question, it gets pushed to your phone. It gets pushed to your phone, and you also have to click your selection. And we can see it on the web interface exactly how the voting goes. And afterwards, the admin, the owner of the solution, which will be Pirate Parties International, can see who did what was their name, what was their party affiliation, and what was their email, what was their phone number. That way, if there is a question whether of the validity of a vote, it can be revised or audited afterwards. Other than that, your vote is secret. It's a secret ballot. The web page does the same. If you choose to use the web page, you're sitting on your tablet or on your stationary computer, it will pop up the question. It will get pushed to the web page. You don't have to sit there and press F5. So that's the voting tech. And go ahead, Thomas.
Yeah, just in addition, our votes are open, so we don't need any secret ballots.
I understand that we don't need it. I'm saying that it is. So whether or not that's a weakness or not, I don't know, because we can publish at whatever point in time, publish the log of who voted what. We can do so while the meeting is ongoing if we like. I'm just saying the functionality is such that the voting is closed. Yeah, you know what I mean. That's the voting tech, and I already have an account. I already asked a few questions, and all I would need for it to work is the time to punch in the email addresses of the people that have been registered as delegates. I could do that probably, we talked about 70 people or something. I could probably do that within an hour, and it works like every day. So that's the voting tech. As for forum discussion, what I saw that Norway did was very simple. They had an asynchronous meeting that took place over 2 weeks. Every agenda item that was supposed to be voted on was numbered and named in discourse. which is an open source solution. I've added the GitHub address here. And that way, people could discuss over time every single agenda item before they voted. In some cases, they could vote whenever they liked, so the voting was open for a week, but the voting can also be open for 1 hour. I foresee that there are agenda items that can be ad hoc. If, somebody makes a proposal during the GA that we do, and then you put it in there, and then you give people a reasonable time to discuss it, or you go directly to voting. But the discourse platform or discussion platform, whichever one we chooses, should have all the agenda items, and we should at least let people, delegates, registered delegates, and anybody else we want to allow in there to actually discuss each of them. That way we can beforehand pick up any problems with any agenda item that may go against statutes or whatever. Go ahead, Guillaume.
It is a very effective replacement for Lumio.
Yes, in its simplicity, and I can tell you that this Discord platform, I really enjoyed it because you could visit 3 times a day, and you get a list up top. Here are new comments. Beside each of the agenda items, there was you could see the number of comments that were made, where the discussion was hot. So it sort of really helped us figure a lot of things out, and of course it's collaboration. It's people and our members being able to take part in formulating what's going to happen on the most important day of the year for Parties International. So the combination of Zoom like this and a voting tech that is safe and cheap, and a discussion platform where you can participate over time will make us able to actually perform a good GA with a lot of collaboration. So that's the 3 things that my proposal consists of. As for testing of a video conference solution, we have chosen Zoom for the GA, so that's all right. As for voting tech and a forum or a discussion platform, we have not. I should remember that to download Discourse, the Discourse project asks that we transfer $99 US to them to support their efforts. And I don't see anything wrong with PPI adding $99 to somebody that makes open source whatever. Go ahead, Guillaume.
I would motion, as Germans start to use Discourse, Swiss to use Discourse, Norwegians to use Discourse, I would motion that we make a decision to set up a Discourse server for PPI and ask our IT guys to set it up for November 1st so that we can launch it prior to the GA and engage with that platform as of now and use it, because it is more powerful than Lumio, and it is something that we can host ourselves.
I second that motion.
Can we incorporate that, Keith, into the minutes of the meeting and make a decision out of it that we select the Discourse platform and that we will set it up for PPI?
Yeah, I've already got it in there.
Okay, let's put it to vote. Is there anyone abstaining or to that decision? Is there anyone against that decision? If not, then
point of order. Yeah, point of order first. Just to those that only have audio, nobody showed hands when he asked for abstentions. Nobody showed hands when the chair asked for opposing. And Keith, it's yours.
Okay, so I just want to clarify, though, that we're agreeing on a proposal to make a $99 payment to Discourse to gain access.
His first decision is we select Discourse as platform. Second decision is the payment. We separated those two decisions. It's clear that we make a technology choice, and then we accept the budgetary consequences of it, so that we have a clear statement.
Okay, so I have put it in there that we will launch Discourse so that it becomes our official platform. It's more powerful than Lumio. It is open source. We can set it up ourselves. Okay, and then next meeting we can decide whether to make the payment. Correct?
No. We make those two decisions now,
Okay.
one after the other. And the proposal is not to set up Lumio. It is to set up Discourse.
Yes. It said it is more powerful than Lumio. It is open source, and we can set it up.
Okay.
Okay, we will make a payment. Excuse me for typing and writing. Payment of 99 US dollars as suggested donation for Discourse.
Chair, may I have the floor?
Yes.
To be able to download the solution, we have to make that $99 donation to them. That's what it says on their website. So I don't know if we can choose not to make that donation and say we're going to install Discourse ourselves. Do you people want me to get the wording from their website?
I'm checking right now.
Discourse.org for anybody who wants to look at it.
For me, what I'm seeing is $100 a month.
No, it is in the frequently asked questions down below. Second frequently asked questions. And it is a specific product called self-supported community install.
So I see it now. It says you can install it yourself on your own server for a flat one-time fee of $99. The community can install Discourse in the cloud for you. Please note that a $10 a month hosting fee is still payable to the cloud provider. So basically the minimum we can pay is a one-time fee of $99 and then $10 a month.
No.
No, that's if we were to choose the cloud provider that they use.
If we install it ourselves, there's a one-time fee of $99, exactly as my document says. If we want it in the cloud to not run it and install it ourselves, there's a $10 a month to the cloud provider. So reading it, yeah. So I move that we change our voting to vote on both things at the same time because we simply have to.
Okay, it's just that I would like to have the two elements. It's not that we desynchronize them, but they are that we choose the technology, that we choose the financial engagement, so that both are clearly marked, and we are not having to search them afterwards. The same thing. Yes, we agree that to the donation of $99 to Discourse. That's it.
I stand corrected. Forget what I said, please.
Okay, let's put it to the vote of the choice of the platform. Do you agree to choose Discourse as platform?
Guillaume, do you want us to vote in line 86?
Exactly. Koen and Thomas, please cast your votes. Okay. And on line 90, do you agree with the financial engagement, the $99 for the solution? Okay. Last but not least, Thomas, could you please inform the IT team to prepare the installation of the discourse instance?
I'm already on it.
Thank you.
Okay, would the chair like us to go back to my planning documents and look at if there are any other decisions to be made today?
Okay. We're looking at the emails as discussed earlier in bilateral discussions regarding the email platform and the moving away from Google. What we will also do is a hard cutover on November 1st, meaning that upon that date, we are disengaging completely from the use of the Google platform in order to be able to assert a better mail service without having bad surprises such as what we've been encountering in the past few months, where mailing lists are not working, where people find their mail contents being spamified and stuff like that. The infrastructure is ready. The only issue was to discuss the exit strategy. There is a soft exit strategy where we try to fiddle around with Google. The problem is that we have no, it means that we run two systems in parallel, which is cumbersome at the least and dangerous at the most because of the risk of loss of data. The idea is now we will check which of the two course we can take, either a full migration by the admin level on the Google domain pp-international.net, which means a full backup of the data and a reload on the mail server, or if each of us gets his account, his new account, and he basically migrates all the content onto the new account himself, meaning that he basically copy pastes the whole content of the mailbox from one mailbox to the next one. So does the board agree with the hard deadline of November 1st for the migration to the new mail platform? Yes? I don't hear you. You muted yourself. Hold on.
Okay,
Nope.
that's okay. I assume you have discussed this with the General Secretary beforehand, right?
Yes.
Just a thumbs up from Thomas would be okay, so I know what to think. Thomas?
He's looking at cute girls right now.
All right.
He's too happy about it. Can you second the proposition?
I already forwarded it, the wish.
Okay.
So I just want to clarify, we are deciding on a full migration at the admin level with the reload on the mail server. Is that correct?
No, the migration itself. We'll let the technicians tell us which of the two ways they prefer to go,
Okay.
and then we'll act accordingly upon it. Stop trembling, Keith. Your camera is shaking. Okay.
Are we voting now?
Yes, we do vote now.
Well, we'll go to line 105 then.
Exactly. 105. And next, please vote on the motion that we do the migration on November 1st of the mail server. Those that abstain, please do so. Those that say nay, express that. The vote is now closed. All ballots have been casted. The motion is passed with one abstention. Okay, back to the working document. Is there anything else? In regards to bandwidth, how much bandwidth do we need overall? I mean, the location I can provide 4G connectivity with our own Wi-Fi hotspot. I can have 2 Wi-Fi hotspots activated for more bandwidth. And I think that is most probably the easiest thing to do. I will check also with others that will come so that we have enough bandwidth and backups that we don't have to rely on the local infrastructure for that. There is normally good 4G coverage in downtown and in the old town. Displays. I will bring my beamer so that we have a large display as well with a silver screen if needs to be. What is the requirement in terms of you say powerful boxes? What are those for?
I was hoping for us to have a couple of stationary computers with a lot of RAM and computing power, so that we could take the audio and video and live stream it to YouTube.
Okay.
That means that the computer that is hosting will be streaming high quality video that you're looking at now twice. It will put stress on bandwidth, and it will put stress on the client. This is after experiencing.
Does it need to be done locally, or can it be done anywhere remotely?
Well, that's a really good question. I only have experience with a large event that the Internet Party ran, and they ran into trouble running it to both YouTube and Facebook. It was both a bandwidth and a computing power challenge. But I think that you should be able to take anybody who sits anywhere can take the audio from their own client remotely, and then publishing it to YouTube. You're correct. We just have
I was thinking of the video, not just the audio. The headphones, that I'm not sure. I think that if anyone has its own headset, it would be best that they bring it, if possible.
Yes, I've spent the last 3 years in the Pirate Party looking at people with the worst headphones and microphones in existence. When you can buy for $19.99 a camera and a mic, 1 in 3 people I do not hear clearly, or they sound like they come from inside a little fishbowl. and that's the experience I had. And remember Berlin, when nobody remotely heard anything, and
Yes.
even in the locale where we were sitting, the only one that was heard was me. Not because, well, maybe my voice carries, but I'm trying to avoid those kinds of problems. And if everybody shows up in Geneva with the equipment that I'm seeing now, it won't work too well. So, well, I'm bringing a headset, $150 headset with a microphone on it, and you can do whatever you want. And if we see any problems, we can run out and buy something. It's not expensive.
There is, how can I say that? You're in Switzerland, where everything comes with a premium. Yes, it can be a little bit steep, but it's not that much. What I can do is set up a sound system, meaning that we can have a full microphone network for our own use with mics that are connected to a mixing table. As we are the only users of the room for the 2 days, we can leave the setup there, and we don't have to dismantle it or anything like that. So there is no big issue for that.
Well, that sounds beautiful, and I would love for that to happen. But then we will really need a stationary computer to connect that, right?
Oh no, it connects to a laptop. It's perfectly fine.
Right, and the laptop is like strong,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I will check that, but it's feasible, and I have the sound system. I'll check it with Zoom, one of the next opportunities, because it needs to be put and set up, because there is the whole system with the wireless mics, the mics with the wires and so on and so forth. We need to check it, and then once it's done, we can go ahead with it.
Yeah, just to let you know, I will be in Geneva from Tuesday morning, so I will gladly help with anything practical and any testing that needs to be done. At some point, I don't know if you've talked about this yourselves. I would really like to know how many of us are coming, but we'll get back to that.
Okay. So that's fine. So the logistics is okay. The setup of the mail addresses is okay. The forum discussion platform we did. Voting tech. Let's get to see that ourselves, and we'll make a formal decision on the next board meeting for the use of that. Video conferencing solution, we use it already, that's fine. Is that okay with you, Ray, for the voting system?
For the voting system, we can wait for 14 days, making it exciting, making it impossible to choose anything else, because we will then be so close to our GA that it will be silly. If we decide in 14 days,
it works. In the worst case.
One more time.
We have Redmine. You shouldn't forget that this is a public
Right.
ballot. We don't need any secret votes. So even Redmine and the fact to put decisions to vote can be sufficient for our needs right now.
Yes. Now, I really have a challenge with that. I want voting, which is the most important thing that there is, to be simple. I've visited Redmine maybe 40 times before I gave up, and I've never found a voting button. But I guess there's something simple there that I haven't seen. But yes, I agree. We have Redmine, and if we can set that up and get that out to everybody, and people can vote wherever they are, I guess that's all right.
Okay. Before going into the let's now go to the task list, and I'll go chronologically into what needs to be organized. Delegate registration, because this is the key element for the GA to work properly. It is the first point of agenda that we need to take care of. What we have seen is that basically people come at the last minute to register. Can we propose them or be very aggressive on having representatives register as early as possible in order for us to do the preparations, the integration, there's the logistics and stuff like that, meaning that we can, that we don't have to rush on Saturday morning for an hour to get everything running. Yes.
Yes, the whole little task list that I've proposed here, and it's not exhaustive. You will have to help me fill it out. Is geared to one single goal, and that's exactly that: to get delegates registered formally. To do that, we need to announce the GA itself and publish that. But then our only focus must be to get them to give us the names of the people that are going to, the emails of the people that are going to be delegates. So yes, everything we do should be geared towards that goal. Thank you.
Do we need to discuss in detail every of those points, or do we go through those elements and see who can take care of it, or how do you want to take care of that? I've seen somewhere that you propose that the three of you, Ray, Keith, and Thomas, prepare all that.
Point of order. Point of order. Both Thomas and Keith has shown interest in having the word, or whatever that's called in English.
Okay, go ahead. Thomas?
Yes, so sorry. Just to let you know, well, we all know about the problems we've had in the past registering delegates. As always, we tried to get those as early as possible, but it seems to be human nature, especially pirate nature, to come up last minute. Well, the easiest way, as always, had been, well, send an email and tell us who will be what, etc. And we've taken care of that in the past, as it isn't the first General Assembly, especially one I have to organize with. So even following up in the meeting, who's present, who's changed, etc. has been done on the fly, even handing out the actual list to the chair, saying, well, these are the ones present, etc. So I believe there is enough experience to just not go into the details. Let us prepare it on the fly within the next days, and the invitation can be sent out, and some details will be taken care of later on.
Okay. Keith?
And one of the other suggestions during the last GA was that we had some sort of icebreaker in the beginning, so we can all get to know each other and introduce ourselves. So maybe we should just organize a 1-hour icebreaker in which everyone starts to show up, and during that time we can have one person or two people collecting the names and emails to get them registered.
I second that, but I will ask Bailey what is her opinion, because I think that she has the most skills at ice breaking of all of us.
Why, thank you. Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that would look like yet, but I think that's a really good idea, and I think we can come up with something cool. So, yeah.
Okay. Ray?
Yeah, I don't know if I heard correctly. There are two things here. First, Thomas says that there's a lot of experience, and among us, of course, Thomas has the most experience of everybody, and some things will have to be handled on the fly. But if we are to make sure that this is the most successful GA ever, which is my vision, maybe not yours, we will need to make sure that there are people that comes here. And if you don't mind, I will want to contact each country manually that hasn't answered within the first week, and make sure that they know this is happening, make sure that they're reading their emails, and try to get as many people's emails and delegates as possible. Let's say half of them actually register and half of them come in the last minute. Then we will really be happy to have Thomas in Geneva or wherever he chooses to be. So that's okay. But going from there to actually seconding Keith's proposal, I'm not sure I heard it correctly, but having an icebreaker hour where we tell people beforehand that they can wait until that Saturday to register is the worst single idea I've ever heard.
That was not the idea. It was the idea to make if I understand well, the proposition is to actually have an hour of, let's say, café croissant, what the usual things happen before a meeting or a general assembly, so that people see each other face to face for once, over Zoom, for instance, be able to discuss and accommodate themselves up to the environment. Thomas?
Yeah, well, Raymond, well, for some reason why I made the proposal to prepare, or let us prepare us three this conference, even the frame for it, because you knowing the details for example, this Zoom US, etc., me having the other parts, and that Keith having ideas like the icebreaker. So I believe we would be a good team to prepare all the stuff in details. Right? So we need to do all of this within a board meeting, because it's just work to be done, and I believe us three have enough experience to carry on the whole process.
Okay.
Yes, I understand. Now let me be clear. Keith said two things. Have which was the first part was a really good idea to have an icebreaker and to sort on some formal things, like as if we were mingling and coming to an actual auditorium. Brilliant idea. But in the last part of his sentence, he said that's where we should register their emails. Now, explain to me how we can invite people to Zoom without knowing their emails. Anybody? How we can register people to vote? How we can tell them where to and how to, because if we use Redmine, we will need a how-to. How do we do that without knowing their email addresses until Saturday morning?
And first and foremost, we need a formal delegation of power from each of the country. And that doesn't come just by someone showing up, hey, I'm the rep from this country, so on and so forth. It is a formal document that the board of the country, or whichever body has the power of decision, has to formally agree to and present to us ahead of time. Yes, Thomas?
Yeah, well, out of experience, as always, there will be last-minute people showing up, even with document. And the idea for Keith was just, well, as we have those last minutes, even that can be handled by certain people being present at the location. So to be honest, sending out the invites, etc., taking care of its background work. As I've done before, I know that. But the audience is filled up with ice breaking. So that's possible to do. So there won't be an artificial break, so to say, to register the last incoming. So that would be background work at the same time.
It enables us to actually deal with the time span intelligently, during which we integrate and set up the GA with the last minute's arrival. And I think the idea to cater for this time by keeping people engaged and active and being productive is the right thing to do.
Okay, this is a little bit difficult because I agree with half or 2/3, respectively, of what is being said. So of course, having an hour or even maybe more, maybe open the room 3 hours before will be good. But again, the meeting room that we have is Zoom, and without knowing the email address of the person that we invite, they are not here to be mingled with. Anybody get that?
Yep.
So let's Thomas, Keith, and I work on the details of the task list together and figure out how to do it. And I would like some thumbs up or nods from the board that they see that, or tell me that I can actually have a goal on having more people registered and identified as those that can participate and those that can vote from all the countries. Should I go for that, making the meeting as effective as possible?
I think that is feasible. What we will do as a board is to delegate the organization, the details of the organization to the working team that has been proposed, and I put that motion to vote. Does the board agree to delegate the fine detail organization of the GA to Keith, Ray, and Thomas, as proposed in line 120? Or actually, if we can shift the line 119 below at line 122 to keep the proposal itself.
Well, if you don't mind, Chair.
Yes, go ahead, Ray.
As long as everybody here agrees that that does not mean that the rest of the board doesn't have to do anything.
And I was thinking that I'll be off the hook and I can go on vacation now.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, okay. It is clear that the rest of the board is asked to engage on that and also seek more resources. In that respect, I'll propose to vote. Those that abstain, say no or yes. Please fill out the lines 123 to 125 to vote. And I'm the last one to vote, of course. There we go. Okay, the vote is unanimous. So I wish to the organization team all the best in their endeavor, and I hope that we'll have great success. Motion passed.
Yeah, and you guys know that, like, I'm always around to help. You know that. And as far as the week leading up to the GA, I will also be in Geneva. So, yeah, I'll get there on the 20th, and then, you know, I'll be there for the whole week leading up to it. And then for, you know, the actual event too, obviously. So, yeah, again, you guys know I'm always here.
Okay.
I just clarify that I'm not sure if I will be there or not. My wife and daughter have visa problems at the moment that I'm trying to solve, and I will find out in a couple of weeks.
How
Okay.
about the rest of the board?
Is that a visa to get into Switzerland, or is that a visa regarding?
Regarding Israel,
Okay. Here I can't help much, unfortunately. Okay.
Chair, Chair, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Any of the other board members that will be in Geneva?
I would like to come, but I'm thinking it might be better if I try to get some other Belgian pirates interested in PPI. Like last time, we did a small meeting with 5 people to follow the GA collectively. If I do something like that again in Belgium, at least we have some people listening to it. Otherwise, I will be the only Belgian person involved, I'm sure.
Damn, you won't be able to taste the mussels and fries recipe of that place where we're going. No, just kidding. No, of course, it is also a very interesting proposal and constructive. And as we're going to be on video this time,
I have mixed feelings. I personally would rather be in Geneva, actually, but I don't think it's the best thing to do, maybe. But I'm thinking about it.
okay.
Well, just to be clear, you would, of course, be on the panel like you are just now.
Yeah, I would be following the thing, of course.
Yes, yes. So it doesn't really matter technically whether you're in Belgium or in Geneva, but I think that would be cool, and we should maybe try to get that running in several other countries too. You know, it's a good thing.
Yep. It might be something that we can also propose to the delegates to organize events around the GA where they can invite pirates to participate and see and discover what happens at the international level. It is a good idea, Quinn, actually.
The problem for Belgium is also a bit that at the moment we don't have any properly appointed international delegates, not for PPI or PPEU. So that's why if I collect people, it has some legitimacy.
Yeah, that as well. Keith, Ray, and Thomas, can you incorporate that idea of making a local events out of the GA attendance to in the invites?
No problem.
Thank you. Ray, you didn't cut your camera, and we saw you scratch your butt. Just kidding.
I don't know what to say to
that. Stop blushing. Okay, so do we have any other businesses related to the GA meeting in Geneva? Okay, then we will go to the next point, which is the General Assembly 2018 Jerusalem Proposition.
Point of order. I'm looking at line 134. Yeah, okay. Thank you. It was corrected.
Yes, I'll just interject a second. So I did, as requested, send in emails and on our Facebook about the proposition. And the only counter proposals was that we merge it somehow with the PPEU meeting that was supposed to happen around the same time. That was the only other suggestion.
Knowing the how can I say that? The very complicated creation of PPEU and their dynamic, I don't know if I want to have this burden being brought to us to carry. Now that said, our dynamics and the strengths that we have displayed over the past 18, what am I saying, 18 months? Is it already that long? 12 months, rather. No, more than that, 18 months now. Can be a good example for PPU to get its grip and things together and move on and go and make what it needs to do. The problem is, do we want to have the issues that are within PPU with us? That is the first question. And the second one is in regards to the GA. I think that is there any other proposition regarding that GA? Ray, Thomas, Kuhn, Bailey, Ray, go ahead.
Well, I'm just now I started thinking a GA end of November, then another GA in March, 3.5, 4 months apart. That's interesting. But I guess it would be all right. I'm not really sure what you said, Guillaume. Did you think on maybe having the GA in the Czech Republic, at the same time as the PPEU meeting? Somebody proposed.
No. That's not me who made the proposition. I just said that I don't see the idea of merging or co-locating the two GAs together as being a good thing, given all the issues that are currently experienced by PPU. I don't want to have that bad energy and all these issues being carried over into PPI, because we are not doing it the same thing. We are not having the same mandate, and I don't want to see people antagonizing themselves and carrying over their grief from one GA to the other, and we getting shortchanged at the end by having people coming at the PPI meeting to settle their differences within PPI and putting us into the pinch.
Right. So the proposal is to have the GA in Jerusalem following the TT3, and for people to mail votes. Okay, I understand. I've had reservations about Jerusalem before, mainly because I can't go to Israel myself, but having the meeting in such a form that we have it here, getting the in a video conference solution, getting the experiences from our Geneva General Assembly, it shouldn't really be a problem. And if Israel and Jerusalem is prepared to receive bandits, no, pirates, we should just run it there.
Was there any other, Keith, go ahead.
So I think we can make this a preliminary decision right now. We don't have to make a full, we can change our minds after the GA if we need to, if things don't work out well. Okay? But we can go with this just right now. We don't have to make a decision about it. We'll just keep this as our idea right now is what we're going to go forward with. Okay? And then in November, during the GA, when we get together, we can say, is this going to work in Jerusalem? Can we pull this off? Okay.
We do a conditional decision upon the success of the Geneva GA. Is that okay with everyone? Ray?
Seconded.
Kuhn? Is that okay with you? Okay. And Bailey? Which is not on my screen. I don't see her. Where is she? Okay. Thumb up. Okay. You know that you can use the little icons in the chat for that, theoretically, I think. Yeah. And someone is telling the host to go faster, so he'll try. I'm just testing a few of the things that are there. So we do the conditional decision, which is yep. Okay, that's fine. Video template for activism video. Go ahead, Keith.
So I was working actually with Roland on this from PPAT. He had some good suggestions on a website that I can share. But basically, it has templates for making videos. They cost 10 to 20 euros for the template, and this would just give us like an intro and closing video, and then people can make their own activism videos in between. He had a good point that we do want to be careful not to put any ideology in our motto that's too blatant against at least the officially recognized resolutions of PPI. So we shouldn't be trying to push an agenda, but just to let the different pirate parties that want to use this for their own purposes. So I guess the question is, should we invest 10 to 20 euros for a template to make these videos?
Yes.
So I can put in a conditional budget. Let's say that just a simple decision. We can invest 20 euros for these video templates.
Proposal is seconded. Okay. My question was, do we want to do a broadcast channel branding? In the sense where what you said is we shouldn't be putting any messages into these intros and generics or how do you call that and generics. But in that respect, why not directly brand that as a PPI broadcast or podcast channel and create an identity around that?
I think this would be a use it all video template. So for the podcast, yes. For any of the parties that would like to use it for specific activism campaigns, I think the idea is just for us to have a familiar entry. And I came to some ideas here: protect free speech, promote transparency, share knowledge, unite the world. Another idea was 34 countries fighting together. Something along these lines.
We could do that, but if we invest in developing those, and we create a broadcast channel around it with the content, then it might be interesting to do two things. One element to identify what we're broadcasting as being broadcasted by us, and the second element to identify each of the video segments and give them a generic with a music and a graphical identity which they can use, and then it's pertinent to being incorporated in our podcast or broadcast stream in a way that people see that it is within our broadcasting system, and identify each of the segments with unique content, titles, and so on and so forth. The investment might be a little bit higher, but this way we can also create I would say, product line. It's not a product line, it's really a broadcasting platform. That in the end, we have a broadcasting platform where we can say, okay, PPI is broadcasting, and we incorporate the elements, and then we can also incorporate in there part times as well.
I just worry that maybe we need to take this as baby steps, because we've had trouble generating content, and so before we jump full-fledged into making a broadcasting channel, let's try and just make a couple small activism videos.
Bailey, do you have any comments? Ray?
Well, I have the opinion that I have the theory that what Keith here is asking for is an intro and an outro to generic videos or videos of any kind.
Yep.
It's a 5-second start and a 2-second ending, and I think we should simply vote on giving him a budget of 20 euros, and then we can take it further when we take the next steps.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can we also make a decision that we earmark a budget of 50 euros for further developments, so that we identify already now the expenditures we might have to further develop that project in terms of intros and.
I second that proposal.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Keith? Okay.
We are anonymous, yeah? Anyone object?
Nobody objected. Everyone is for it. Okay. Motion passed. Next subject, TT3. Go ahead, Keith.
So again, we have a few speakers. Thomas has been collecting with people. Thomas and I spoke about this the other day. And I'm going to send you all another email for inviting speakers, sort of a form email, so we can send this off again. I spoke with Arif, and he wanted to, like what he did before with the journal, which was actually quite nice, the way he set up a journal, a sort of it wasn't a journal, it was a sort of a bulletin of all the papers. We could really use a board for this conference, though, a separate board of people who are in charge of the conference, preferably academics.
Mm-hmm.
Cone got us a website up and running. That's really good. And as I mentioned, we put Thomas as an admin, and I'm going to have one of my guys as well go in. So we'll set up a basic form. We don't need the full conference paper system. That's cool. People can just send it to us by email. That's really not a big deal. I don't see a problem with that.
One question: if we go tapping in the academical world, wouldn't it be good to have the quote-unquote conferencing system, meaning that it incorporates into the whole academical tracking system for papers and stuff like that?
If we can get it set up right away, but I want to send out emails right away that are getting responses from people. And most of when I sign up for conferences, it's always through email. Almost no one has a full website set up. So while it's nice, it's a good idea. I think we need to focus on getting papers right now.
No, my question was not about getting the papers and registering them through a workflow on a website, but it's rather incorporating these presentation in the paper or a paper and document tracking system that academical uses to identify their papers being presented and stuff like that.
Right, but first we need the papers, and second we need to make sure that the papers are in presentable format to be published like that. I have a feeling what we're going to get are a lot of stinky abstracts that don't deserve to be published and would not look good for us. And that goes actually for the last Think Twice, for some of the papers that he had on there as well.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I just want to have a simple form set up on that website, and Cone's website, and we're going to work on getting that set up. Just get people to sign up. I reduce things like the fee concern. I don't want that to be a concern of anyone, so I think we should limit that. And we'll work it out. It's a non-for-profit event. We're keeping it low cost. We got to see who our sponsors are. We got to see what money we pull in. I won't let us come out negative like before. We can't promise any free plane tickets or stuff. If we do want to invite speakers, they don't have to pay a fee. That we can work on that. But I don't think we need to worry about those details right now. In the meantime, we just want to spread the word, get people who want to speak at the conference, get people who want to attend, and just spread word about the conference.
Okay. Do we need anything else but TT3 right now? Koen and then Tom and then Ray.
Yes. Oh, sorry. The team I'm currently using is also a paid team, and it has already expired because we already set it up a year ago. So I need a theme like. So I need or it's $40 or it's 100 and a bit to renew it. Is that okay?
Is there a discount price for NGOs and non-profit organizations?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Keith, dear treasurer.
So I don't have any. I guess it makes a little bit of a difference if we don't use that theme. Is it a big deal to do something else?
There's a few things that aren't working at the moment. Yeah, then it's going to look completely different. There's a lot of work needs to be redone.
In that case, I guess it's ideal to keep it. If it would only be $40, it's not a huge expense.
Okay. Can we put that in the budget of the TT3 conference directly, as a direct expenditure of the conference?
Yeah.
Okay. So Keith, you take care of that expenditure directly in relationship with Koen within the TT3 project itself. Okay. Ray?
Yeah, so just a quick question. Did I hear you say, Keith, that you did not budget any money to pay for the speaker's travel and stay?
At the moment, we do not have money budgeted for speakers' travel.
Okay, then when we start to invite people, we should really also invite people to speak through Zoom or something like that, because it's not a problem if you have a big, really big screen in the auditorium. It will work for both remote participants and those locally. So it doesn't matter where the speaker is.
So in the invite, I will add. I'm going to send this email to you hopefully tomorrow, and you can forward. And in that, we will have a clear physical attendance is not required for participants or speakers. You can participate through Zoom.
Okay, Thomas.
Well, to be honest, I'm still not very fond to pay for themes. I believe there are enough free themes available, and I believe we are pirates, and we will find people to build it up somehow similar.
Can you put that in bilateral, Kuhn, Thomas, and Keith, to find a solution that is functional, that doesn't require an entire reorganization of the site, and investment of a lot of hours to address that? Because between 40 euros and 100 work hours, it is clear that there is a slight balance that we need to find there.
We'll talk about it.
Is that okay with the three of you? Okay, go ahead. Okay.
Just a moment of order. I need to move, so I'm moving. I'll be away for 2 seconds.
No problem. Okay. Well, finances and research are in Keith's area. EcoSoc for the new system, the Indico profile. I'll check with Keith to set it up afterwards, so it's on line 200. We'll take care of that until the deadline, which is the end of the month. And I'll get back to you through the usual channels to discuss that and to see who we appoint as Indico person of contact. Keith, Thomas, and myself, most probably, if that's okay with you guys. Okay. Keith, if you haven't heard us, did you hear us?
I was listening and doing something. So
okay. We keep the 2 points that are within your purview, which is finance and research. We're talking about EcoSoc's Indico profile, and I was suggesting that the persons of contact for Indico would be Thomas, you, and me. If that is okay with you guys. Okay, well, again, you can copy paste the last decision outcome. Everyone agrees to this selection. Okay, finances.
I guess.
Is there anything else than the statement that you presented on line 191?
It's all there. Just really that Cone sent the funds from closing that one account, and I sent an update to our crowdfunders on the past month's activity, and every month I'll keep sending those updates.
Okay, perfect.
And should I continue on research real quick?
Yeah.
I was struggling really to get that grant application that's due still on the 15th. It's a nice opportunity. I spoke with Arif, who had the idea of establishing a journal with those funds, which is actually would fit well with the goals of that institute. But his concern was whether we had applied as PPI, and he thought we should apply as our academic institutions, which is a good point, but there's no way that I can get my academic institute to, yes.
Good.
Could the conference apply? Think twice.
And include the conference within that as well, yes. So one of the things is there are recommendations. It can't just be a single event. It needs to be a ongoing thing. And so and something that would have, so they don't want to just fund events, but by combining a journal with the event would give it that qualification.
Yes.
It's already the third time. It's already the second publication of a proceedings booklet. So I don't know that much. I'm not.
And what would be the publishing interval requirements for such a project to be accepted? Every 6 months? Every 3 months?
There's no. It's up for them to decide. This is a small grant. Keep in mind, it says a maximum of €75,000, but the average is 15,000. And as a first-time applier, I don't think we should ask for more than the average, which is still significant for us. What more do we need? But we need reference outside organizations that are going to vouch for us, and I don't know if I can put this all together now. I was trying to.
How many organizations do you need to vouch for?
I believe at least 3.
Okay, Thomas, can 42 vouch for PPI and Think Twice?
To be honest, I do not know. I will have to ask them.
Okay, can you ask them?
Well, for sure I can.
I was thinking of Digital Gesellschaft Société Numérique as second organization, and I'll ask them. And we need a third organization. Do we have any other foundation that are close to us, or association that are close to us, that would be able to support that? I'm not going to be asking CCC for that, because then it would sound a bit oddish. But would there be another association that could come into that?
If I can just interject, so we don't lose too much time. So we should try and proceed forward with this. And I will go back into the application and send it to you all tomorrow.
Yep. Thomas?
Well, as I'm a board member of Denk Selbst e.V., which is a similar branch in Germany, like 42, I believe there will be another vouch for it.
I haven't understand your last sentence. Could you please repeat?
Well, I believe Denk Selbst e.V. can vouch for it as well.
Okay.
Being by me being on the board.
Okay. Is that okay with you, Keith?
I'm gonna see how I started to do it with Arif, and then he bailed, and so let me see if I can still pull it together. We've got 3 days.
Okay. Is there a deadline extension, or are we already past?
No, it's the 15th. They'll probably have another one in 6 months, but
okay,
it's an ongoing thing. But it's not like they have extensions. but it's again it changed. Originally, I was going to apply to do research, and Arif said correctly he was actually interested in doing it, but only if we did it through the universities, which is right. If you're going to do research, you do it. But then this idea developed to do the journal and the conference as the funding, which does make sense.
Okay, let's go with it. Do you guys agree with that proposal? Is that okay with you, the board? Okay, unanimous again. Damn, it's almost Stalinian. Okay, it goes up. Tackled. Monthly meeting. Is there any other points on the research right now? Any comments? Nope. Then we can proceed to subject 11, line 223, which is the monthly meeting. So the timing for the next meeting is October 21st at 1500 CET.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Please note that somewhere around those days there might be a time change.
It's still summertime. I've checked it.
Okay, but on the other side of the pond, it might not be any more summertime by that time. You haven't changed yet on the other side of the pond, right, Bailey?
I actually haven't thought of that. But
we have checked. It's on the same date, October 31st.
Okay.
Okay, awesome.
Good. Then, is there any comments, any particulars?
Not really. I definitely want to get people thinking about the GA and stuff. I want that to be a topic of the meeting. Just trying to think, like, is there anything to say about it right now? Not really. I mean, my brain isn't working properly because it's still morning, but yeah.
Can I ask a question, Chair?
Yes, please go ahead.
Was there somebody in one of our non-member countries that wanted to spend some time with us there, talking about the copyright vote?
Oh, right. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. The EU copyright vote is happening in November, and that's going to be a main topic. We actually have an activist from Sweden who expressed interest in organizing actions all over the EU, and I mean, I would say that probably extends to the entire world in solidarity. But she wants to collaborate with people on some organizing for that. So that's going to be a big part of it also. Thank you for reminding me, Ray. Again, it's morning here. My brain doesn't work in the morning, so I didn't even think of that. But yes, that will be a big topic.
Can we then put out an invite with that main topic and broadcast it on the social medias?
Absolutely.
So people know about that?
Absolutely, yep.
That is our next move as soon as negotiations between Sweden and London, Ontario, and Canada has finished. We'll take the next step and make sure that everybody knows that the date is set for the 21st of October.
Yeah.
Good. Any other business? Catalonia. Okay. There was another Pride Party that did respond to Kitty. Where did I have that? Here somewhere.
If you when you're looking for that, I might inform you that the Internet Party of New Zealand has asked to be put on the lists with us.
Exactly. That was the point I was gonna make. Is that we have to add the Internet Party of New Zealand, which makes me think that the Internet Party of New Zealand should formally bring forth their application as either an observer or a full member of PPI before the 25th of October, so that we can process it and incorporate it in the agenda of the GA.
Yeah, I can confirm that it has been set in motion this morning, so we will hear back from them shortly.
Can we just put a note in our protocol in our minutes that the Internet Party of New Zealand should bring forth or put forward its application, whichever status they want to have. The question is, do we have any knowledge or of the whereabouts of Pride Party New Zealand, or have they gone under?
I have no information about that, but I don't know who among us is on best speaking terms with our main New Zealand contact. Is
I'll
that
check
you?
with them. No problem.
Yeah.
I'll do so. Okay. Then we continue to receive feedback. Pride Party Friends did that. Yeah. Just a side note, Thomas et al. We need to update on a daily basis the publication about the Pride Party Catalunya with the new names, and I would like to formally here thank Kitty for her outstanding work contacting almost everybody around the earth on such a short notice, and as Ray highlighted it brought us invaluable information about the responsiveness and the contact capabilities that we can have in such a fluid situation. Thomas?
Yeah, just another additional thing, just to let you know, there is a PPI calendar. I will send you the link later. I haven't got it handy. So, but even that, if you need access to it, please ask for it so we can add all that stuff we have on it. And as always, it's Agitechnik.
Okay.
Plus, an additional statement, the web page is currently updated, so to say, almost by the minute if somebody signs up.
Perfect. Can we, every time someone also signs up, incorporate it into a new push on our social medias? Ray, Bailey?
I'm sorry, I did not really catch what it is you need to push for, but the answer is yes anyway, but maybe tell me what
The
it
idea
was.
is that every time someone signs the statement, the open letter, we do a push on social media saying this Pride Party has also signed and backs the Pride Party Catalunya.
If I get a message from one of you saying that it happened, sure, I can tweet it, me or Bailey. So just do it in the PPI board side channel on Wire, and one of us will make sure it happens or try to make sure it happens. These are quite busy days.
No problem. Okay. What else do we have? Nothing. Is there any questions, any remarks, any suggestion, any other businesses? Nope. Then it is now 4:46 Central European Time, and I hereby adjourn the meeting.
And the recording is stopped now.